Welcome to Enlightenment of Change on webtalkradio.net. I'm your host, Connie Whitman. Thanks for joining us this week. So, this journey of change, kind of difficult at times, sometimes not. But to help you on that journey, I have a free communication style assessment that you can take. And what happens is you'll take the assessment, you get a report showing your superpowers, which is awesome to know so that we can always leverage from the place of strength and then build from there. You also get a report from your blind spot or your lowest score, which is probably even more important because to be mindful or understanding your blind spot, you might not get great at it or build that as a strength, but once you're aware of it, you can monitor and control it. So go to whitmanassociates.com/CSA, and that is my free gift to you on your journey of change. Now, my quote, I'm glad you like that, Josh. My quote for today is by Seth Godin, and he says, "A brand is the set of expectations, memories, stories, and relationships that taken together account for a consumer's decision to choose one product or service over another." Now, as I host this show, I have to tell you, I truly do feel privileged, and I've been doing it for about 9 years. And I enjoy the various topics on change that my guests and I get to kind of dig in and explore. And for me, I see change everywhere. Sometimes I almost feel like I stand alone because when I see change, I kind of get energized and I get a little bit excited because I find that every time there's a change, I see the opportunity and I get pumped up because with that opportunity comes upsides and growth and learning and all of those great things. That never knowing, constant learning, that thrill when it all turns out either successful or, as I say, I like to fail forward. There's always a new lesson and a new triumph to celebrate. Now, interesting enough, over the past 18 months, like you, I've had some big changes happen. I needed to redefine, I've needed to rebrand, remarket my entire business. Now, it had been about 20 years when some of my initial marketing and branding was put in place. So let's say the word old and outdated might fit in. So honestly, since this isn't my zone of genius, sales is, I felt off kilter and feared I was spending so much money and time, and I didn't know if I was spending it on the right stuff. So I imagine most business owners feel the same way at this type of juncture. So of course, today I have an amazing guest who's an expert, and we're going to talk just about that marketing opportunity. So Josh Zeppis, he is the identity archaeologist, which I love, is on a mission to raise the ROI on each and every conversation for confused and struggling soulpreneurs by discovering, articulating, and monetizing their authentic personal brand. After 20 years as a shy, negative, you're not going to believe he's shy, a negative, skeptical engineer, he escaped the corporate cubicle to find himself in a free fall of entrepreneurship. That journey of success, mostly failure, led him to finally choose to monetize his genius of discovering, articulating, and monetizing authentic personal brands. When he's not IDing, I don't know what that means. I'm not ideating. That smart. IDing. Okay. He's a set IDing. I'm Jersey. Don't help me here. He's a semi-professional comedian. Truly, he is funny. Poet, pilot, home brewer, and OCR athlete. So please help me welcome Josh to the show. Thanks, my friend. Thanks for being on. I really do appreciate it.
It's awesome to be here, Connie. Very much an honor. And I'm just looking forward to sharing. This is going to be fun. And you had so many good nuggets. You just said, I wanted to comment on like 90% of what you already just said, which is great. So it's a blessing to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. And yes, I am so honored to have you. And, it's funny when I write the show notes, I really try to be thought provoking because I think we get into that blah, 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 but we're not really saying anything of value or to have people pause and think, what did she just say? Or wait, what did he just say? So that we could contemplate our own situation or whatever, right? So first question, you sent me some questions, but we are going to deviate because he doesn't like questions, is what is the lighthouse?
Let's deviate. Come on.
All right. So what questions do you want me to ask you first? I'm cool with this.
What's the first, what are you curious about? What's on the top of your mind? What's on that surface?
Okay. So here's my first question. An engineer to a branding, marketing genius. What? Like, how did that happen?
And well, it goes back to how I grew up. I grew up as a good soldier, right? I did everything I was told to do. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Right. I got the degrees, the multiple, I went to school, all kinds of stuff, got the safe, secure job. I was an engineer for 20 years, shy, negative, skeptical, introverted engineer. And one day I got a few wake up calls, but I remember this one day, everything I thought was right wasn't so right. I just started taking inventory of my life. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm not as happy as I want to be. I'm not as wealthy as I need to be. And I'm not free. And at that point, freedom became my favorite F word, which it is now. Now, back then, my favorite F word was different. You all can probably guess what that was. But now it's all about, I was like, something's missing here. And there's a point where you start seeing the code in the matrix, you start seeing the glitches and start seeing, and you can't sit still anymore. Yeah, I couldn't buy the lie. I couldn't just sit there another 30 years and expect everything was going to work out. So I escaped. I had to.
Can you share, you said a couple of things happened, right? So that was a pivotal point for you. And yeah. I think we've all had those pivotal moments. What was the biggest pivotal moment for you where you thought, I can't do this anymore, I'm done?
Yeah, the first straw is very interesting. It's a financial thing. I found out my 401k had no chance of retiring me, mathematically impossible. Now, remember, I'm at a point, I'm 18 years max funding my 401k. I'm climbing the corporate ladder. I make multiple six figures. I had it made. And then someone comes along and says, is this thing going to work? Are you sure? Have you done the math? And I'm like, no, I haven't done the math. It's my religion. Everyone's got a 401k. They tell me it's good. I just believed it. But it bugged me. So I did the math and found out mathematically, can't retire on it. That made me mad. But let me tell you what pissed me off. What pissed me off is when I found out I wasn't supposed to know that. I wasn't supposed to know the 401k wasn't going to work. I was supposed to buy it, and I was supposed to get to 65 years old, try and use it, and then find out I didn't have enough money. That's what was supposed to happen. And that scared the crap out of me. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say the S word.
Not that word, but you could say crap. Yeah.
Okay. That just scared the crap out of me so much. I was like, what else am I missing? If I got lied to about this and I took the hook here, what else am I missing? I started opening up all the cabinet doors. I'm like, what? Why are happy people happy? Why are successful people successful? What am I missing about entrepreneurship? Why have I never really considered it? And that it just set me off. That was the initial straw.
Interesting. A couple of things you just said there. First one was the financial piece. Now you're going to laugh because I have my Series 7 license. I have all my life licenses. But here's the funny piece of it. My husband and I mean, obviously he has his 401k that he contributes to. I contribute every year. But I buy real estate because I feel it's number one, you should diversify. I mean, that I do believe in diversification, right? But I buy real estate. And because my feeling is when we get into retirement, that real estate could stay, the asset could stay as is, and we'll be able to live off of the income. And then God forbid, when we need it for, for healthcare or for nursing homes or assisted living or something, God forbid, we have the asset that then can be sold to be used for that. So the 401k, exactly. It's fascinating that you say that, because here's another stat, and I don't know how recent this is, but as of about 5 years ago, it's something like 75%, and I'll say Americans, I don't know internationally, but 75% of Americans, Josh, are able to retire, and 75% of Americans retire on Social Security, which to me is such a tragic thing. The other thing you said, and I hope everybody listening is hearing this, especially young people, you were putting away, maxing out your 401k, moving up the corporate ladder, making multi-six figures, which is a lot of money. So if you're putting in 17% or whatever the max is now on that, right? That's some pretty good bank. And then even with compound interest and aggressively positioning yourself, right? So you have that upside potential, all of those things.
Yep.
You weren't going to mathematically make it. So what about people who are making low six figures?
There's no chance. There's no chance. And by the way, I use best case scenario when I do that calculation. Taxes never go up. I assume market never crashed. I got a 7% net rate of return. And I assumed I kept max funding it for 30 more years. Like I just assumed, I said, you know what, best case scenario, what does it look like? And it wasn't going to work. And you said something interesting, diversification. That really is the key, because the 401k by itself isn't going to work. And by the way, it wasn't supposed to work. It was designed as a salary reduction vehicle for wealthy people back in 1978 under the ERISA Act. By the way, I got into the financial industry. That was one of the things that drove me into the financial industry, to teach people this.
Yes.
So I had my Series 6, 65 life insurance.
I
All
love
that.
it. Yeah.
I've been there. So I know exactly what you're talking about. I didn't go as far as Series 7, but I, I just want people to understand that your 401k, you don't own it. It's a government owned plan. It's not, you own real estate, which is great, but you don't own your 401k. It's for the FBO. It's for the benefit of you. So once the rules change in 20 years, you're not grandfathered in. It's just the rules change and now you have to abide by the new rules. So I like owning assets. By the way, if you don't own it, it's not an asset. That's my personal rule. If you don't own it, it's not an asset. By the way, that includes your job, right? You're renting, if you're W-2, nothing wrong with that.
No.
But please understand, you're renting a position, you're
Yep.
renting an income. You don't own that job. Therefore, your job is not an asset, even though it makes you money. It has to make you money and you have to own it for something to be considered an asset.
I agree with that statement.
Yeah.
Interesting.
This is getting way off topic, isn't it?
I know. Wow. We were supposed to talk about branding. What happened? We're talking about money. But here, Josh, I love talking about money now. Dude, come on. This is like one of my favorite topics. So I want to comment on one more thing where you said the diversification. And I think this is important. And I know the younger generation, and then we'll start talking about branding, but I find the younger generation really courageous because they're not afraid to say, all right, look, let me get some money in the bank for retirement. Let me start to learn stuff and get a job with a company because you got to start somewhere, right? I have to learn skill. I can't just go off of my academics of college or high school. So they're getting these jobs and then they're starting these side hustles and they're courageous to say, what the heck, let me take a chance where I never would have done that. 40 years ago when I started my career that was taboo. Right. So that's number one. Number two, even in my business, I had for 20 years, see, interesting. I had multiple revenue streams during that 20 years, but when COVID hit, what an eye-opening experience for me. I started in my intro that like everything just started. I was in chaos and I thought, I got to get my messaging clear. Who am I selling to? What am I selling? What am I doing? I mean, I know what I'm selling. So that I realized, yes, I had diversification for that 20 years, but not nearly enough revenue streams within my business model so that if one thing went, I had something else that was gaining. So all that whole shift in perspective is really, really important. So I thank you for saying that. I want people to think about it. Diversify your earnings. And I know people who are married in the same industry. And if that industry goes down, you don't even have diversification within the household income. So we say diversification, Josh and I are talking about more than just, your 401k. Now,
and one of those income streams you ought to get paid for being yourself. Make sure one of those income streams is taking your genius, your value, and monetizing it because everything is monetizable. They don't teach you that in business school, but everything is monetizable. And it should be. If you're providing value to somebody or to someone out there, the transfer of value back to you is called money. And it's okay. Don't be shy about it. Nope. It's not a bad thing. So one of your income streams better be you.
So give me an example. Give me an example of some of your clients, how you help them amplify or monetize them.
Yeah. One lady I'm working with out in the UK right now, she helps people in corporate America, service professionals in particular, that are just stressed out and they're going to work, they're putting on a happy face, they're faking it, and they just can't find happiness. They're just so unhappy because they're pretending to be happy, and that actually makes them more unhappy. So we were developing her message and her brand so that she can target these specific professionals and she can get them in. In fact, we just created a webinar for her called It's Not Rocket Science, Why Happy Professionals Aren't Truly Happy. And it's going like gangbusters. People are like, I want to know, what's going on? Why am I not happy? Because this is a big deal, and it leads to depression, hopelessness. It creates all sorts of problems. So she has an amazing message, an amazing heart. She's been doing it for 30 years. She also needed the rebrand, like you were talking about. She just had to, freshen up her message and really hone in on her target because she was kind of all over the place. She just had stuff going everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I find too, and I bet you find this as well, Josh, with your clients, because I've been in this, I've been in financial sales or sales for 39 years. I have so much knowledge and so much content because I've been training corporations for 20 years. So I probably have 20, 30 programs on the shelf created. So there's so much content. And then when you get in front of somebody like, oh, what do I say? What do I say? I feel like I'm the dog chasing its tail because I want to share so much because I come from a place of love, care, and respect. But it's like, but what do they need to hear from me? So you have to dig in and ask questions and all those things. But the branding part, that marketing part, marketing and sales are really, really very different. So talk to us about how does somebody understand what their brand is, so we want to help people monetize their coolness, authenticness, their zones of genius, right? How do you figure that out?
Yeah, let's talk about, you mentioned marketing and sales, but let's talk about brand is separate than marketing too. So you got branding, marketing, and sales.
Right.
And this is a very big point of confusion for a lot of folks. And it was for me too. People think marketing is everything. They just come in and like, I just need a marketing. I need to get the word out there. Marketing at its core is an amplifier. It's a directional amplifier. All it does is take a message and it makes it louder. That's truly, truly what marketing does. But if you don't have a message, if your message is confusing, or if it's weird, or if it's not genuine, or if it's just garbage, you're amplifying garbage. And then people come to me, why isn't my marketing working, Josh? Look, I'm doing all this Facebook ads and I'm doing this and networking and it's not working. So let's show me your message. Well, it's just whatever. Okay, that's why it's not working, because you're literally amplifying garbage and it's costing you thousands of dollars. Branding is your message. Branding is exactly what you stand for. It's what your business stands for. It's the gut feeling that someone gets the moment you walk into a room. It's that core feeling that you want to be able to amplify. And then sales is now, once they're in your process, they're in your funnel, they're in your orbit. How do you convert them into a client? And that, so three are very important. Yeah.
All three are super important. And it's funny because all right. So I think you have to start with the branding before you can determine what marketing campaigns, blah, 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 marketing copy, right? So we have to get that branding really tight. So how would somebody start to peel back their own onion, so to speak, right? And figure out like, what, if I sat down and wrote what my brand was, like, how do I figure that out?
Yeah. Start here. Branding starts with clarity. That's what people miss. They miss clarity. Clarity starts here at home. Why do you exist? Why do you care about what you do? What is your stand? What do you stand for? So many people don't stand for crap. They don't stand for anything. I ask them, what do you stand for? What do you stand for? What do you stand against? I don't care, either one. Be on a mission. You've got to have a purpose, a stand, a mission. You got to have values. So all these things I call brand assets. These are just like very core brand assets, and it's your foundation. But most people cannot define these things. So you can do it for yourself, right? You can sit and meditate and kind of try and filter through, but it's really hard to see the entire picture when you're in the frame.
Absolutely.
So that's why you hire a branding company. Yeah, that's why you want to get a third party to come and ask you the right questions, dig up that information, and help you articulate it. Because once you have your brand, once you're clear here, you can be clear to everyone else. Now you can create the message that's consistent with your brand, because brand and message are two different things. Your brand is your core. It doesn't matter your audience. This is a thing that they won't teach you in business school. Your brand does not matter about your audience. Your brand is your core. It's why you exist. It's your truth. That never changes. I don't care who you're selling to. Now, the second part though is message. That's how you translate your truth to the audience that needs to hear it. And you have to speak their language, not yours. That's the key. So many people capitulate their brand. They're like, I just want to create a brand that makes people like me. No. That means now you're pandering. Now you're fake. Now you're going to fail. You need to stand for something that's true to you, and then create a message that other people can understand that.
Yes.
Speak their language. You can do that. You're off to the races. Then go market.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Do you really want to work with people who are not in alignment with your core mission or values and all of those things? I sure as hell don't. Ooh, I shouldn't have said that. I sure as heck don't, because it's work. It's just so much work, and it's constantly correcting and justifying. I don't need to justify. I know my zone of genius. I know what I'm good at. I don't need to justify that. Why do you think? And you've been doing this for a while now, but why do you? Well, let me ask it maybe two different ways. Do you think that people finding their brands, their core brand, like you said, here in the heart, do you think it has gotten more difficult? And if so, why? Or has it kind of always been the same?
I don't know if it's gotten more difficult. The reason why we don't do it is because we're afraid to shine. We are so afraid. We think it's bragging. We're so afraid to give ourselves credit and to recognize our genius. Because look, I can tell you from experience, I think we're all born for greatness, and we all have this gift, and we all want to shine, and we all want to share with others what our value is, but it literally gets beaten out of us. We're told to keep your head down, stop asking questions, just do what you're told, obey, right? It's all about obedience growing
nose
up.
to the grindstone.
Exactly. So now we get to be in our 30s and 40s or 20s even, and we're told, build a brand. And we're like, but I don't want to build a brand. I don't want to shine. I don't want to stand out. If I stick my head up too high, it might get chopped off. So what we do is we hide behind our product, right? We're like this, here, buy my water, buy my water. It's really good water. Hey, hey, hey. And like, no one cares because everyone sells water. Or we hide behind a big brand behind us. I'm a State Farm agent. I'm New York Life. I'm real estate. I'm Century 21. We hide behind someone else's brand because we're so freaking business shy. We're so afraid to stand out, and it's killing us because one day we're gonna lose this product, or we're gonna lose that brand, and we're gonna lose our identity in the process. And then we're a nobody, and now we're lost again. And we're like, what the hell happened? Now I got to start over. I might as well go back to corporate America. I might as well get crapped on the rest of my life because I just can't make it. That's a crime, and that's a shame. And we got to stop that.
We do, and you're making me laugh because you could say I'm pretty bold. I'm not shy. I'm sales, right? So, and I
That's the
say
New Jersey in you too.
I know it is. I'm a Jersey girl. It is true. I'm a Jersey girl. His wife's a Jersey girl too. But I am. And it's funny when people say the word aggressive, they say it that it's a bad thing. I'm aggressive, but I do it with so much respect and love that I follow up. Like I'm aggressive with my follow up. I'm aggressive with my own habits. I'm aggressive with me learning all the time. So it's from this place of love, care, and respect, not from I'm going to beat you till you buy from me. That is so not who I am, right?
It's intention.
It's absolutely. So it's funny when all of this COVID stuff happened and business owners were reaching out to me saying, you've been successful for 20 years. Can you help me? I don't know what I'm missing. I was like, yes, you're leaving. And I would start to find the holes in why they were leaving money on the table. And usually it was simple things they had to tweak, or they needed to add another revenue stream or another product, whatever it was. But this branding person, I met her through a networking thing. She came on my show like you, and we started chatting after, and she said to me, I was preparing for the show and I met you at the networking event. And she said, we've had a couple of conversations and you're this larger than life and love. And you're so big and full of energy. And she says, I feel the love coming from you. And I went and looked at your website and I felt like I was looking at a librarian's website. Josh, I said, okay, I think I'm in trouble. It's good. But here's the thing. She was absolutely right. The website was technically correct about what I did. It had nothing to do about who I am and how I do it. And that's my secret sauce. Not that, hey, I could help you with sales. Yeah, I can help you with sales. I can help you make more money. Yeah, I can help you make more money. But how do we do it, right? That's the essence of me. And I had none of that going on. And it's funny because I probably did my website maybe 5 years ago, 8 years ago, prior to this round. And the person who helped me, they were a web designer, not a branding expert. Exactly. So that's another thing. Talk to me about that. How many people come to you and say, I need a website. Yep. What do you say?
It gets even better than that. It gets better than that. So your website is marketing. So we just talked about this. When you talk about website, all that is marketing, but you didn't have the message. The message wasn't there, or wasn't obvious, and that's okay. Nope. So you missed the brand, but you went right to marketing. Here's what other people do also. Business cards, logo, titles. I'm a super duper CEO of my company. Yeah, guess what? Nobody cares. Here, let me share something that, again, they won't tell you in business school because it's too embarrassing. Here's a list of things that nobody cares about the first time they meet you on a business first impression. They don't care what your name is. They don't care about what your business name is, your title, your product or service, your personality, your good looks. Thank goodness for me. Your logo. They don't care about these things. And guess what we do though? What we do is we lead with them. That's the first thing we share. I am Josh. I call it the case of the yams. Have we talked about this? Yams disease? Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Go to a networking event and you're going to see yams disease, and now you're going to laugh every single time. I am Josh. I am a branding expert. I am in Orlando, Florida. I am looking for this prospect. I am. It's all ego. But isn't that weird how no one cares about that crap? And yet that's what we lead with. Look, nobody cares what you know till they know why you care.
Yeah, that's right. It's such a great quote.
Yeah, I would rather you just start talking about your mission. I would rather you start talking about what pissed you off that morning. I'd rather you talk about why you're excited, why you get out of bed. Talk about anything about why you care. Have a little empathy for your clients, your future clients. Let them know that you understand where they're at, because we don't tend to do that. We just tend to talk about ourselves, right? It's all ego. It's all perfectionism and professionalism. Stop it. I want to bring humanity back to business, because let me tell you something. Humanity is more profitable than professionalism by far.
Yeah. Where did we get lost? Well,
I have no idea.
I was going to say, or were we ever found, right? We might have always been lost. I'm not really sure. What would you say the biggest issue, situation, whatever, that you see over and over and over again with people that come to you or work with you?
It really goes back to lack of clarity, because clarity starts everything. That's what's interesting. People say, I want more confidence, Josh. I want to be able to go speak to people. Why am I so afraid? Why am I scared? Why do I care about what other people think about me? All this kind of stuff. And it goes back to clarity, because without clarity, there is no confidence. Clarity in your message gives you confidence. Confidence, this is the fun part, leads to conviction. So clarity is like, I know my stuff. I know. Okay, great. You have clarity now. But now confidence is, I know that I know. So now it's like, I got this. So confidence is the, hey, I got this. But it's an analytical, it's still an analytical process. But when it goes from your head to your heart, that's conviction. And it's no longer, I got this. It's, I am this. And when you can just get out of bed and say, I tell people, identity archaeology and personal branding, it's not what I do. It's what I am. I don't need to prepare. Do you need to prepare for the person you are every day? No, you just are, right? It's just so natural for you. When your business gets to be like that, when you can just stand up and say, this is what I freaking stand for. Here's where I'm going. This is my mission. I see my vision. I see where I'm headed. Nothing's going to stop me. Now you can hop on the train with me. Let's go together. You can stay at the station. That's fine too. God bless you if you do, but you're not stopping me and I'm not waiting for you. Now let's have a conversation about what I do. It changes. I'm telling you, it changes the entire conversation, but we're so freaking afraid to stand for something.
Yeah.
We're
afraid to shine. It was funny. Yesterday, I did a speaking event for a local business here in Jersey, South Jersey. It was Zoom because they're quite a distance from me. And at the end, I said, okay, do you have any questions? And I did a presentation about eliminating the 5 layers of buyer's resistance, right? But it is what it is. Technical sales stuff. So at the end, I said about 25 people and I said, any questions? And there was no questions. I go, all right, I'm good, but I'm not that good. So I says, all right, you guys don't have a question. I have a question. I said, I want you to go around the room now. And one by one, everything I presented, I saw you all taking notes. Tell me one thing that I said today that either you didn't know and you thought, holy crap, that's pretty smart, or gosh, I knew that. Why did I stop doing whatever? What revelation did you have today? So it was really funny, Josh. And I didn't even realize I was doing it till the end. So as they went around, and we had about a half hour extra because I allowed for the Q&A, which there were none. So we went around the room and each one of them said, I never heard blah, blah, whatever it was, right? Whatever their takeaway was. And each one of them, I said, okay, so here's a trick. Here's a tip. So every one of them, as they shared with me what they learned, their aha moment, what they were curious about. And I love curiosity. I said, all right, play with this, try this, go home and do this with your family. Don't try it with the clients yet. And I gave everyone a mini coaching. So at night, my husband said, he goes, Connie, you went over, what happened? And I said, they were giving me such great feedback about what there are no questions. What did you learn then? And I said, I coached every one of them. And I go, you know what, Rob? My husband's name, Rob. I said, you know what, Rob? I didn't even realize I was coaching them because they were so excited to learn the information and curious about it that I thought, ooh, try this. Ooh, try that. I have 39 years, right, of all of this knowledge. And at the end, a woman, she's probably been doing, it's a bank. She's probably been in banking maybe over a little over 40 years, right? Maybe 45 years. And I get to her, she's a lender, and she says to me, I'm good. She said, and everything you taught today, whole different perspective than I've lived my whole sales career. She goes, I'm going to start using some of your tips. She goes, that was off the charts. And I said, wow, I really take that as a compliment. Thanks so much. So here's the thing. I did. Now, was that planned that I was going to go around them? Nope.
Mhm.
Was I planning on coaching on the fly? Nope. It's who I am. If someone tells me I'm not sure about this, or I'd like to have more confidence in this, try that. Let's work on this one little piece of the puzzle,
Exactly.
right? It's who we are. I don't know how to hold back, Josh, right? You don't know how to hold back.
I'm the same way. I share way too much information and I love it. I don't care. It's fine. We're my big vision. I want to see a world of personal free trade. You do what you do best. I do what I do best. We all share. Scarcity goes away. There's too much surplus. No more homelessness, hunger, racism, hate, anger, unnatural stress. All that stuff goes away. So if I can share, if I could just keep sharing and help other people reach their potential or give them a little tweak or something, go for it. If I don't get paid for it right away, I don't care. I just want to see, we got to help other people win. We're going to win together. We're going to lose together because we're in a society. This is not me versus you. That's old thinking. That's stinking thinking. We are going to win together. We're going to lose together. So absolutely. We should all be sharing.
Yeah. And here's the thing, like your zone of genius, my zone of genius, we all complement each other to do whatever bigger, right? We want to serve bigger. And here's another thing, guys, like you were saying about money, you exchange, right? You give somebody your zone of genius and they pay you for it. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I do agree with that. It's just an exchange. Money's nothing more than energy, right?
Transfer of value, right?
Transfer of value. That's really it's just a tangible thing that we could now go and pay our mortgage or whatever, right? I really love making money. And when I say that to people, I say, but listen, not because I need a bigger house or I need a better car or I want to take lavish. That's not who I am. I'm really a homebody and I love my life. I want to serve bigger. I want to help kids who are underprivileged that didn't have the opportunities, that I had. For me, it's always about the kids, by the way, right? So, but that's another part of my passion. So if we can play bigger, we can serve bigger, and then we can make the world a better place and maybe eliminate hunger and eliminate poverty. And I know this is very Pollyannish. Everybody goes, there goes Connie with her positive attitude. It's more than possible if we band together and grow together instead of pushing each other down. And we do a lot of that.
Yeah. I mean, what's the other option? The other option is we fight each other and the 10% get to the top and everyone else has a shitty life and that's supposed to be okay for anybody.
It's not okay.
We have to do this. We have to do this. Otherwise we're not going to have a society for very long. So I think we need to start erasing the lines between personal and business. I think we need to start merging it. I don't think you should separate what you do in business from what you are as a person. There's really no need to do that. And I think we need to start. That's my goal. I want to help people emerge that. I want to get paid for being yourself. Why is that such a strange thing?
I love that. We're almost out of time, but I have to share a really funny story that you just said. So one of my clients local, as the kids came up, they needed internships, during college. So I got my one niece an internship with HR, happened to be in training. I was there training one day. So I went to the training director and I'm like, can my niece come in? She's like, yeah. Let her come in. So, and I told her, I said, she was a kid, right? And I'm like, you're doing everything. I'm not letting you off the hook. I'm going to make you rise to the occasion. She's like, yeah, I'm up for it, Aunt Con. I said, okay. So after class, I don't know these conversations, but all the cousins have like a little group chat, my kids, right? And so
really?
It's so freaking cute. They talk just about every day, the cousins, right? It's adorable. My kids came down and I'm like at dinner and they were like, Vicky was pretty funny, my niece, Vicky. I said, what? And they said, she was in class with you today. I go, yeah, she did really good. I made her do everything. And they said, yeah, Mom, it was really funny. Everybody was like, so how was it? And she said, it was Aunt Con. She's really smart at what she does, but it was Aunt Con. Now, is that the best compliment? I'm a goofball. I am what I am. So but you can't be I always say it's not like we have two heads, right? I'm walking out the door, Josh. Let me put on my professional head. And then when I come in, I take that one off and I put on my home head. You are who you are. But that was the best compliment.
It's not possible.
No, and that was the best compliment my niece could have ever given me. Funny, right?
That's awesome. And that's why I'm against professionalism too, because professionalism is akin to perfectionism. And here's the secret. You can't be human and perfect at the same time. Yep. So which one is going to be more profitable? Probably the truth, right? Your genuineness. Because the moment you try and be too perfect, guess what? People sniff it on you like, wait a minute, you're human, but you're not, therefore you can't be perfect. Yeah. But if you're going to try and act perfect, you're faking it. Now I know you're lying to me. And that goes to that, remember that gut feeling, which is your true brand. It's that gut feeling people get, not the analytical feeling, it's the feeling in their gut. So we got to be human. Otherwise we're faking it and we're going to lose business.
You know, and social media is killing us because, you know, the Kardashians and all of that, you know, these influencers, like really you wake up with your lips all perked like that? I don't think so. You wake up with bags under your eyes too, right? So all it's fake. It's all fake. And but that's, I'm afraid is what these kids, especially young women, are growing up with. And it's just a false aspiration that's just not achievable. And I think that's why depression is up and just everything is just wackadoo out of kilter.
We need to shake it out of them. I just want to grab people and like shake it out of them. Like, just be you. You are good enough, right? I know what you were told. I know you're told you're not good enough. You are good enough. Just let that genius out. Let it out. Let it shine and create that message and just start attracting people. Stop selling. Sorry. I don't mean that in the, I mean in the classic way. Stop selling, stop chasing, stop convincing, stop begging, stop the old type of sales and just start being you and bringing people into your circle.
You know, what's so funny when people meet me, they'll say to me, oh, I think I need you. And I say, oh, okay. And they say, can you, can we jump on a call? Sure. And then I get on a call and they go, yeah, I need you. I say, okay, great. And then they have to answer some questions to make sure that, they're my kind of client too, because I can't waste time with one person. Yeah, it has to be a good fit. I do not pound the pavement. I live off, knock on wood, I live off of referrals because the right people find me. I don't have to sell myself. I teach you how to sell, but it's not about the spammy, smarmy sales like you were saying. It's about just showing up. So people say, oh, where have you been my whole life, right? That's when you've got the magic going with someone, right? I love it. Thank you for saying that.
Or you get the new solopreneurs, the new entrepreneurs, they get into what I call the grind of sales, where they're just constantly, it's like they're talking to 1,000 people a day and they're getting 3 people to sit down and listen to them. I'm like, that is not a good ratio. No. So that's also, by the way, where a brand can help. If you're talking to 1,000 people and you're only sitting, or you're sitting down with 10 after introducing yourself to 1,000, your message is wrong. There's something that's not working.
Yeah, it's still a numbers game. Yeah,
it is. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
But no need to grind.
No need to grind. It should be easy, right? Or semi-easy. Let's just say semi-easy. So here's the deal. I think everybody needs a little Josh in their life. Go, if you want to email him and get some questions. I don't know if your wife would agree with that, but if you have any questions, email him we'd have to get her on the call.
There's enough for me to go around.
I know, baby. I gotcha. Go to info@joshzeppes, ZEPESS.com, or check out his website if you'd like more information, and go to Josh, JOSH, Zeppes, ZEPESS.com, and check him out. Ask him questions, pick his brain, and see if maybe he can help you with what you're trying to create in your life. Josh, thank you so much. I could talk to you all day. You know why? And then we'll end on this note. This is more than just a branding, marketing, and sales conversation. This is about humanity, right? This is a human conversation that I feel we had today. And I think that we need to do more of that and expose more of that side of business than, is my marketing right? Who's my avatar? If I hear that one more time, my brain's going to explode, right? What does that even mean?
Who's your ideal avatar? Oh my God.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So I think we need to put the rhetoric away, and I think we need to bring the humanity back. So just thank you for this wonderful dynamic conversation. I would love for you to come on again. If you're game, I'm certainly game.
Hey, anytime I can share, I'm there.
Yeah. Yeah. Truly honored. Thanks. Next time, yeah, we'll dig in on the human side and maybe how we all turned to crap. I'm not really sure, where that, we kind of went downhill in humanity, especially with the polarization in the United States. I mean, you see what's going on here. It's cray cray. So anyway, guys, check them out. Go to joshzeppis.com or info@joshzeppis.com. I promise I'll put all that info in the show notes so you can find them easy peasy. Josh, thanks again. Enjoy the rest of your vacation, my friend. Thanks for coming on. I'm really honored that you joined us. And I hope you guys will join me weekly as we question, build, and discover together, no matter what change you're going through. My guests and I have you. We have tips, we have strategies, ideas. Here's the deal. We give you the info. You got to take it. You got to put it into action. With the action comes the reaction, which where's the results will end up happening for you. But you got to do something different. You can't just sit home and say, woe is me. So please, please take 1, 2, 3 tips that Josh and I talked about today. Try it, explore, be curious, play with it, and see what happens, because that's really where the magic lies. Thank you again, Josh. Thank you all for joining me. I truly am honored to have you on this journey of change with me, and I'll see you all next week. Thanks, everybody.